Hey everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Ash and I'm here with a review for Entropy Survivors on Xbox. Now, this released onto the Xbox Store on the 4th of December 2024, developed by Moving Pieces Interactive and published by First Break Labs, who were kind enough to send me a copy for this video review, so huge thank you to them for that. Now, this is a Vampire Survivor-like roguelike bullet shooter, like a bullet hell shooter, and it is a prequel to their previous game Shoulders of Giants, which I have also covered for the channel. While that one was a sort of third person platform and action game, this one, like I say, is the sort of roguelike shooter where you're surviving waves and waves of enemies, leveling up, gaining XP, gaining new abilities, and then constantly progressing and improving your skills to eventually progress through the game. Now, don't worry if you've never played the other game in the series. This one can be played standalone, and it starts out slow. I didn't really enjoy this one that much when I first started. I found myself dying rather quickly, and I felt it was just a little bit slow paced. But after a while, I honestly had a ton of fun playing it, and I'm still only scratching the surface in terms of how much content this game offers. Now, I played this on Xbox, but it's also available on other platforms, including PC. And on Xbox, it's at an amazing price of £8.39. Now, it is Series X and S only, so it is current gen only. And if you like these bullet hell style games, these Vampire Survivors-esque games, you'll probably really like this one. Now, if you don't know what this is about, you basically play as a frog riding a robot. You have two attack options. So with some of these sort of bullet hell roguelike style games, it auto attacks. This one, you do have to use your trigger buttons, and the left one controls the robot. Pressing it does a normal just melee attack. Holding it down unleashes all of the sort of abilities that have been unlocked at that present time. With the right trigger, you use the frog's abilities, and that is more ranged attacks, so it's got a gun and it'll have ranged abilities. Now, you get dropped into one of 5 worlds. You start off with the first world and you have to work your way through by completing levels. Each level has a specific completion requirement, sort of like maybe survive for so long, this, that and the other. You get dropped in and you basically have to blitz your way through enemies. They'll start coming at you from all angles. Killing them, they'll drop XP crystals. Get enough of them, you'll level up, and you'll have the option to upgrade one of sort of 3 abilities, or unlock an ability if you haven't got one unlocked yet. You'll keep doing this on the loop until you either die or survive long enough to complete the level. Now, that's the core gameplay loop. It sounds a bit straightforward, but it is really addictive and enjoyable. Now, while you're in these levels, you'll obviously unlock these abilities and you'll be able to increase them and upgrade them. Your character, you have a class, which is a nice thing here. So there's loads of different classes. I think there's 8 to unlock all in. You start off with one, which is like a paladin, and you have a unique class ability that refills over time. Like the paladin sort of self-heals. Then there's the sort of jet fighter one, which you sort of fly around, which I thought was really cool and kill a load of enemies. On top of that, you'll also go around finding these crystals. Smashing these crystals will either unlock you like a butterfly, which gives you health. It will give you a limited time ability. It will do something. And there's also totems, which can help you, give you more XP or do damage to enemies, like with explosions and weapons and stuff like that. Another fun thing I liked was the sort of random aspect to it, where some of these things you'll pick up while you're playing, like turn the game into like a little pinball mode, and you'll bounce off the flippers and the little bouncy like the glow and the beep and stuff. I can't remember what they're called in pinball. But if you go over like 3 circles and you light them all up, you'll then get extra XP. And I thought that was really random and really fun. Some of the power-ups as well are really silly. Like, one of them is like it drops giant shoes on enemies, and the one is like a digger just comes driving through. It's very, very random, but really enjoyable. Now, outside of the runs, like I say, you've got to survive 20 minutes on average. Outside of that, you'll die. You'll have an end of run screen where you'll get XP and level up and get sort of things you can spend on permanent upgrades. Now, there's different ways to do this. There's tasks, which are sort of like survive for so long, and it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's like a cumulative of each run. Kill so many enemies, use so many of these abilities and stuff like that. This will unlock you currency, or it could even unlock you new weapons, new skins, so like new colour schemes and stuff like that, and new classes, and that's how you sort of get a bit more variety. You can then use the variety of different currencies to upgrade your character in a variety of ways. First, you can upgrade your class, so you can improve some of its stats, give it unique abilities and perks and stuff like that. And I think you can spend points to unlock 3 different perks, but there's different perks available. You then have your weapons, which you can upgrade. You also have a ability upgrade station. There's a lot of different menus here, and it's all in like a little hub area that you walk around in. So there's one where you upgrade all your abilities. They do more damage, they do less recharge time, that sort of thing. And there's also a sort of skill tree where you upgrade your general character's abilities and stats and stuff like that. So there's lots to do, lots to sort of get your head around, because you'll think you've got loads of currency, but then when you go and try and upgrade one thing, you haven't got any currency in that side of it. And the fact you've got to wander around between different menus is the only downside I can say to this game. Like I say, other than that, graphically it's all like, it's top down, but it's all 3D. There's a ton of enemies on the screen. I will say some of them are a lot harder to defeat than others. You have a dodge option as well, like a button, so you can sort of dodge out of a corner. I do find you get ganked in corners every now and again, though, with certain enemies. But there's also like bosses like that pop up at certain points. Defeating these unlocks chests. Chests basically are like bigger rewards mid-game, which is always nice. Graphically, it looks okay. It's not going to blow anything away, but it does the job. There's a lot of replayability here. I love that there's different classes, while basically being the same thing, a frog on a robot. But the classes I played were all very different, and I like that you can unlock new weapons and classes despite not progressing very far in the game. Now, I played that first level way more times than I want to admit, and then suddenly I hit a point where I was upgraded to a decent amount, and then I just breezed through a few levels one after the other, which is, it just, you hit a point where you start getting the ball rolling and everything sort of falls into place. Your abilities are really good, and while yes, it's a bit randomised each run, you're sort of better prepared for what's on offer. You've got the better class, you've got a better weapon, all that sort of stuff, and it all just falls into place really nicely. Now, I definitely recommend checking this out if you are a fan of like Vampire Survivors or any of the other sort of survivor roguelikes that are out there. It's priced at a very great price of £8.39. Shame it's only on next gen, or current gen should I say, because I don't feel like, bar the tons of enemies on screen, it's really going to push the boundaries of what this console can offer. It is basically a sort of low poly sort of graphics and stuff like that in terms of what's on offer here. But it's really, really fun, really enjoyable. Highly recommend it. So anyway guys, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you soon for more gaming content. Thanks for watching. I also just want to add, and I totally blanked when I was recording this originally, that this game also features 4-player co-op, which is really awesome for these type of games, and it's probably one of the better games that does co-op in this sort of bullet hell roguelike genre. Now, having 4 people play with you make this game like totally different. It just gets even more crazy and more fun. Unfortunately, like I say, when I was recording originally, I'd only played this single player, so I didn't really talk about it in my full review. However, the ability to do 4 players is really cool, and it is available on console like that as well, and you can all pick different classes, and you basically work together. So check this one out. The co-op alone is a nice sort of addition, and you will basically work together but also be all working for getting the highest score. Again, apologies for getting that, but I thought I'd just throw it in at the end here.